Alright, this is going to show how to use Newton's method in Excel to make it a little bit easier. So it says use Newton method to estimate the solutions of the equation 3x squared plus x minus 1. Start with x sub 0 equals negative 1 for the left solution and x sub 0 equals positive 1 for the right solution. Find x sub 2 in each case. So in other words, my x sub 0 is my x sub n in the formula up here. And so the first line that I do this, I'll get x sub 1, and then I'll do it again to get x sub 2. Now, just to show you that I actually did this correctly, I went ahead and showed you the answers that my math lab gives you. And also, I go ahead, this 3x squared plus x minus 1, I go ahead and graph it. So this is about negative 0.8 and 0.44. So I can at least see by the graph when I answer it if that seems reasonable before I just go put something in that I got from Excel just to make sure I did the formula right. So what I do is I set up these cells and I'm just typing in x sub n plus 1, x sub n, f of x sub n, and then f prime of f of x sub n. And so what I end up doing, well, in fact, let me do it this way. What I end up doing is then just reusing this value, so that'll be my x sub n plus 1, that'll be this value right here, and then I end up using that for the next line. So let's start with the left. It says use negative 1. So f of x sub n means just where you see an x in 3x squared plus x minus 1 to put a negative 1 in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use Excel to do the calculations for me. So that says start with an equal sign. Then I type 3 times x squared. Well, instead of typing in a negative 1, I'm going to click on that cell because that way when I change it, it will update my formula. Squared plus x, negative 1, minus 1. So this is 3x squared plus x minus 1, this formula, where I'm just referencing cell A2. So I hit enter and I get that answer. Now I also have to find the derivative, okay? That's what the f prime means. So by looking at this, I can see the derivative would be 6x plus 1. So this would be equals 6 times x plus 1. And then to get my x sub n plus 1, this equals my x sub n minus my f of x sub n divided by my f prime. So all I'm doing is just clicking on these cells to have Excel calculate this for me. And I hit enter. And of course I can add decimal places if needed, but I'll do that at the end to see if I need to do that. Alright, so let's move this out of the way. So this becomes my next x sub n. So I tell Excel just copy what's in that cell, and how I do that is I just say equal and I just click on that cell. So what I'm doing is I'm copying the contents of that cell. I press enter. Now I click and drag and highlight these 3 because I can reuse these formulas but move it down a line and then it'll use the negative 0.8. So how you do that, a very quick and easy way, is you just take your mouse and you click and drag to highlight, and then over here in the far right hand corner there's actually a little bitty black square. When you put your mouse over it, it becomes, notice that the crosshairs is like a big white cross and now it's a small skinny black cross. I click and drag straight down and as you can see it gives me that number. Now this one said to round to 4 decimal places, so I can click up here to decrease the decimal and get that exact number. Alright, so this formula allowed me, going through here to put this formula in, allowed me to get that answer. Well, the big part of it is now the second part that says use x sub 0 equals 1 for the right solution. The only thing I have to change is my starting value because everything else is formulas and it'll update. So I type a 1 in, I press enter, and I get the point 4470. Now what I'll do is I will save this Excel spreadsheet so you can actually see the formulas. How you see the formulas, you either just click on them and you can see them in the formula bar, or you can double click and it'll actually show you which cells are being referenced.